In this video, I'm going to walk you through Team Battle, a new quiz-style game you can play with your attendees. Team Battle works on a session basis, meaning you can have a separate team battle for each session. In my session here, you can see that Team Battle has already been activated. If you don't see this button, click on Session Settings, click on Enable Disable Features, and then look for Team Battle. And if it says disabled, just enable it by clicking on the lock. And then once it's enabled, go back to your session dashboard and you'll see this friendly button. I'm going to click on it and you can see I've already created teams and questions. Yours will probably look blank if you haven't used Team Battle before. Team Battle works by combining groups of attendees into teams, and then they answer questions. So you want to create questions and teams ahead of time. I've created 2 teams already, but I want to add a third. I have beagles and sheepdogs, and let's add chihuahuas. And we're going to give chihuahuas a color. We want one color to represent each team. So I gave it a nice kind of tan color and a black text color. And you can see that reflected here, back in the list of teams. Now, this isn't just a list of teams, it's actually a little mini leaderboard that exists in your moderator panel. So the number to the right will be the number of points that each team has received, and the number of people who are online for that team at any given time. And this will update in real time. There's nothing you need to do. If you need to remove a team, just go Edit and look for the Remove Team at the bottom. I'm going to go back to my Team Battle dashboard. I've already created 2 questions, and I want to add a third. I'm going to do that by clicking on Create New Question, and I'm going to put in the question text first. How many moons orbit the planet Mars? That's a good question. Now I have to enter choices. All Team Battle questions are multiple choice, and right now they're limited to 5 possible options. So we're trying to keep questions simple and not too complicated. There are 2 moons that orbit the planet Mars. So I want to create a few different options, 0, 1, and 2. And after I've done that, I now have to select only one option as the correct answer. So every question has to have one correct answer to work. I've selected the correct choice, and now I'm going to go down to scoring. So Team Battle, as I mentioned, works on a team basis. So one team will be in first place, one team will be in second place, another team will be in third place on each of these questions. Of course, if I had more teams, there'd be more places, but I just need to put in 3. So I'm going to do 3 points to first place, 1 point to second place, and no points for third place. And then I'm going to create the question. I've created teams, I've created questions. Let's play. To demonstrate Team Battle, I've had to adjust my view a little bit. So in addition to my moderator panel, which is now in the top left, I've added a PowerPoint view in the top right. So this is what's going to show up if you add this slide into PowerPoint or if you run it in the browser. As I use my moderator panel as a remote control, the PowerPoint's going to automatically adjust. So I only need to add one slide. I don't need to add multiple slides for multiple questions. At the bottom, you see 6 different windows, which are different browsers, which are going to represent players who will be playing in our team battle. I'll be controlling all of them, so you can see the action as it happens. So as attendees join your session, just direct them to click on Join the Team Battle. So let's go ahead and do that. And after attendees have joined the team battle, they will be prompted to choose the team that they want to be on. So if they are supposed to be on a specific team, maybe based on where they are in the room or some other attribute, make sure they know which team to pick. We're going to have our first 2 players be Team Beagles, second 2 players will be Team Sheepdog, and then Chihuahuas will be our last 2 players. Let's start with our first question. I'm going to click on the plus button to expand the remote control tools. There's open question, which is the only option available right now. There is show correct answer, score the results, and reset question. Let's start by clicking on open question. You'll notice that PowerPoint changed to show the question along with its choices. And on each attendee device, participants can now respond. So we're going to have our first two teams get the question perfectly right. Then our last team is going to have one person get the question wrong. Now, I'm not actually going to click submit because that's optional. The data will still be captured once the question is closed. And to close the question, all I have to do is click on show correct answer. Now pay attention to PowerPoint, because when I click on this, you're going to see that the correct answer is highlighted. And then on every attendee device, the participants have been pushed back to the team battle dashboard, which just has their team name, so they can no longer respond. Looking back at our moderator panel, you'll see that next to the remote control options is a little mini leaderboard that shows how each team did on this question. You can see that the Beagles and Sheepdogs both had 100% and the Chihuahuas had 50%. So when I score this question, the Beagles and Sheepdogs are going to have a tie broken by this number in parentheses. So this number in parentheses is the average response time. Basically how quickly attendees clicked that option. So we can see the Beagles were a little faster, 12.4 seconds as opposed to the Sheepdogs. So the Beagles are going to get first place, Sheepdogs second, and Chihuahuas third. Let's go ahead and score the results. You'll see that the Beagles got our 3 points, the Sheepdogs got 1, Chihuahuas got 0. And our leaderboard is updated, and now we can move on to the next question. Before I do that, let's take a look at automatic question timer. So with our first question, I manually progressed from opening the question to showing the correct answer. Basically, I waited until I felt it was time to close the question. This time, we're going to use the automatic question timer to automate that process. So let's switch it from disabled to 15 seconds. I don't need to reload anything. So let's go ahead and expand our second question and open it. You'll notice immediately that a timer has popped in to the bottom right-hand side of the PowerPoint. And I'm going to furiously respond before the timer runs out. After the timer expired, all of the attendee devices switch back to the team battle dashboard so they can no longer respond. And back on our mini leaderboard, we can see how each team did. So the Sheepdogs should get first place, the Beagles second, and the Chihuahuas third, based on tiebreakers, of course. So let's go ahead and score the results on this question. We can see the Sheepdogs and Beagles are now tied at 4. So we're going to come down to the final question to determine who wins. Let's go ahead and open it up. Open question. Again, we have a 15-second timer. And now that the timer has expired, let's look back at the mini leaderboard. Now this is a little bit interesting because the Sheepdogs were correct, so they're going to get first place. But the Beagles and Chihuahuas had no one get the question correct. Now, typically, second place would get a point based on my scoring here. But because no one answered correctly, and there technically is no second place team, there will be no second place point awarded. So the Sheepdogs are going to end up winning after I score the results. And let's go ahead and do that now. But you'll see that no one else got another point. So congratulations to the Sheepdogs who have won our game. Now that I'm done, I might want to send attendees back to my session. The easiest way to do that is to simply deactivate. Now there is this toggle under game status that currently says active. I'm just going to click on it and pay attention to what happens on attendee devices. all the attendee devices were pushed back to the session dashboard. So if I have polling or if I want attendees to use audience Q&A, they're just right back there. They don't have to do anything extra. Of course, I'm just testing this, so if I was preparing for a session ahead of time and I want to reuse these questions, all I have to do is click on Reset Question next to each question. And now we're back to square one. So whenever I'm ready, I can run the team battle for real. Well, thank you for watching this video. We're going to continue making improvements based on your feedback, so please test this out whenever you can. Send feedback to our support desk. We'd love to hear what you think. Bye for now.